Today we're going to be cooking Philly steak sandwiches. We're going to be using ribeyes. So I have about 2 pounds here. I also have some mushrooms. You can use portobello or just the white mushrooms. I also have red bell peppers, yellow bell pepper, and I have a white onion. I also have my favorite provolone cheese and Sara Lee classic dinner rolls. For seasoning, I just use my garlic salt, a little bit of butter, and this is actually for after the steak is been cooked. We'll use that at last. So the first thing you need to do is start chopping your ingredients, which I will start with my red bell pepper. Of course, I like to use my favorite knife, which is a Cutco. My favorite knife, Cutco. Okay, there's the sharpest, so just dig in. Now I like to cut them in half. I'll remove the inside, the seeds. Set that aside, cut this in half. Make sure you remove the seeds from the inside. First, I like to cut them in strips. And then I turn this around. So I'm going to put these, set these aside in my dish. This is a pretty quick and easy meal to make. And I like to take off a couple layers, more or less. Okay, I'm going to slice these in half. Well, this is one of my children's favorite meals. It's quick, it's easy, and one you can cook up for a lot of friends and family. I know my kids like it on a Sunday afternoon. So, like, fine. It could be in little chunks. So we set that aside. These are my mushrooms, and I like to kind of just slice them, just like so. Alright, so I got a different cutting board because we used my vegetable one. Now we have the meat cutting board. And I had already pre-seasoned our steaks. So we're going to cut these kind of in strips. And it's always best to have it at room temperature because it's easy to cut. Some of that fat, you can trim it or you can leave it. Some people like it. We like to leave a little bit on there. So I'm going to remove a little bit of this fat here. And we're going to do the same thing to our second piece of steak. We've cut up the meat into cube size pieces. Remember to always wash your hands because we don't want to contaminate any of our food. Okay, let's start our flame, and I'm going to have it at about a medium to high flame. I like to use my cast iron because you get the most iron from it, and it's good and healthy for you is what I've heard. Whatever pan you want to use is fine, whether it's Teflon, whether it's cast iron. You use whatever pan is your favorite. What we're going to do is use at least a quarter cup, which is about half of a butter stick. I'll wrap this. We're going to let that melt. So we're going to let this kind of brown up a little bit. You'll notice a change here in just a moment. You can tell it's starting to kind of brown up in this area here, and it started to smell. I wish you had smell-o-vision. So now I'm gonna turn down my flame a little bit. And the first thing I kind of want to put is my bell peppers in, because those tend to take a little bit longer. Okay. Got a few mushrooms in there, which is okay. There's plenty for leftovers tomorrow as well. So about a medium high again, and let that warm up. So once you feel your pot is warm, you'll know. Right now it's still cool, but you'll notice that it'll warm up. In the meantime, I'm going to open up my butter, and this is for the meat. Half a stick of butter, which is about a quarter cup. So you kind of have to go between one pan to the other. And then it looks like the bell peppers are starting to kind of get softened, so I'm going to add the mushrooms into my cast iron. So now we have our steak. We're going to add it to our pan. And you don't want to move this around too much, so you want to let it sit for a good 5 to 7 minutes. You can always add a little bit more salt and pepper. I like to use sea salt, by the way, a little healthier. And then some pepper, freshly ground pepper. As you can tell, it's starting to kind of get tender, which is what we want. I'm gonna move over by the meat because it's ready to get turned here. So I just kind of flip it. So now our steak is ready, and what I'm gonna do is transfer the vegetables into my steak. With my meat. Give it a good stir. It looks yummy. Can't wait to put our sandwiches together. Open up your cheese. Get a slice out, get it ready. And I like to fold them in half because we're gonna make 2. So I'm gonna grab a couple of these rolls, and you can always cut them in half and kind of make them toasty if you want. Mind it just plain. And both pieces of your bread. And what I do is just kind of fill the next sandwich. I'm gonna let it all fall on there. We're gonna add just a little bit of A1 steak sauce, or any kind of steak sauce you want. And you can serve this up with your favorite potato chips, tater tots, french fries, whatever you like. Your Philly steak sandwich.